Welcome to the third episode of Tasty Compendium series. Today we are looking at all the Easter eggs, references and hidden secrets I found in the Gothic Remake. This video is a collection of amazing details left by the creators, so don't forget to like, subscribe and join the discussion in the comments if you know any other cool stories. Let's get started. The first Easter egg happens at the very beginning. If you ask Xardas a silly question like where the old camp is, when it's literally right behind him, he sarcastically tells you it's under the bridge. If you actually dive under the bridge, you will find a tiny micro model of the old camp hidden there. Inside Xardas' old sunken tower, after passing through the Gate of Elements, you can find a shield in his study. It looks similar to the one from the Doom game series, complete with the iconic symbol in the middle that resembles the mark of the Doomslayer. Another great Easter egg is near the old citadel. If you light a specific torch on the hill, you will see distant bonfires lighting up one by one across the mountains. This is a clear nod to the iconic scene from The Lord of the Rings, where the beacons of Gondor are lit to call Rohan for aid, signaling that the enemy is moving and war has begun. Inside the Temple of the Sleeper, there is a clear reference to the Elder Scrolls series. Specifically, the architecture and vibes are a direct shout-out to the Dwemer ruins and their lost mechanical civilization, together with the small, tiny and nice spider. Deep inside the swamp where the sect camp is located, there is a hidden Star Wars reference. You can find R2-D2 secretly chilling out and smoking a green novice joint. Down by the sea in an area filled with the sunken ships, you can find a little underwater restaurant. This is a funny nod to the Krusty Krab from SpongeBob SquarePants. Nearby the sect camp in the mountains, the seaside, you can find scattered pickaxes, a skeleton inside a coffin and apples lying everywhere around the body. Even though some might confuse it with Sleeping Beauty, this is definitely a reference to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, complete with the mining tools and the poisoned apple. As a neat detail rather than an Easter egg, the upper floor of Xardas' sunken tower features several references showing how Xardas lived and what he studied in the colony before moving to his new tower. In that same tower there is a hilarious sight, a skeleton programmed by Xardas that is still endlessly sweeping the floor. It is stuck in eternal service, completely unaware that its master left a long time ago and the tower is now in ruins. Downstairs in the same room there is an alchemist table that looks a lot like a potion classroom from Harry Potter, at least that is what many people in the community say, and I totally see it. Now brace yourself, because this next one is a massive secret that ties heavily into the lore, so watch out for spoilers. This hidden room reveals the dark nature of Xardas and explains why we constantly hear black ravens throughout the game. Xardas is actually watching us through them, and the room contains powerful items like Demon Army and Golem Summoning Scrolls, plus a permanent potion that gives +4 to both strength and dexterity. There is also an interesting paintings, including one that literally predicts us being thrown into the barrier. I will leave the rest for you to discover in the Gothic 2 and Gothic 3 remakes. No wonder this gives an achievement. It is an incredible detail that you can easily miss unless you use a harpy scroll to fly up there. Going back to the start of the game, near the river, right next to where we found the mini old camp under the bridge, you can swim into a hidden cave. Inside there is a chest with a bow. It's a fantastic boost for the early game to help you survive the colony, so make sure to check it out. Also in the Gothic 2 remake. It will be worth it. Next up, I honestly don't even know why I included this one. It is just a regular skeleton washed up by the river. I just find so many that I get paranoid already. Nothing to see here, let's move on. This next spot is also a bit weird, and I wouldn't call it an Easter egg. It is basically a premium toilet spot. You can find a toilet plunger here, which is pretty funny, along with some books and newspaper to read while doing your business. At the very beginning of our journey at the exchange square right next to the water you fall into, you can climb up to find a hidden cave with beds and chests of starter items. Most interestingly, there is a compass fixed to the ground that you cannot pick up. This seems to be a cheeky poke at players who complained that Gothic does not feature minimaps or quest markers. It's a great community theory I like. Moving on, we have a reference to Pirates of Caribbean. I already showed this underwater secret in my previous video, so I won't spend too much time on it here. Over by the swamp camp you can find a skeleton sitting on a ledge starting out at the valley. Maybe he's the ultimate king of chill, or maybe he's just been waiting forever for this remake to finally drop. Either way, it's a cool view. A much creepier skeleton can be found closer to the beach near the swamp. It has horns coming out of its head, looking like a devil. It could be a reference to the Doomslayer again, a nod to a demon from an older version of the game, or something else entirely. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now either I am being trolled by the community or players have discovered something deep here. People kept insisting there is an Easter egg in this spot, but I cannot find it. All I see are 3 lava streams coming together at a point with some random items. Maybe these 2 white skulls mean something. There is also a pot, a grave with a slipper symbol and an orc skull. If this rings a bell for any of you, please let me know. While this next room in the final section of the Temple of the Sleeper isn't strictly an Easter egg, you have to admit it looks exactly like the iconic mines of Moria from the Lords of the Rings. It perfectly captures that epic scene where Gandalf and the Fellowships walk through the massive rows of Dwarfs columns. It looks amazing, which is why it made the list. To wrap up this episode, I want to show you a fascinating glitch and hidden secret area. I'm not sure if the developers left this on purpose, but it fits perfectly with the lore since many camp members believed the sleeper was the key to escaping the barrier. It turns out you can use a harpy scroll to literally fly right past the magic barrier portal he opened. Once outside, you can fly around the entire dome and discover hidden secrets left by the developers. For example, you can find the exact spot where a smuggler was cut in half by the barrier, while trying to escape with a chest of ore. You can also fly back to the exchange square from the outside and see how massive and impressive the barrier looks with energy waves rolling across it. Most excitingly, you can fly incredible far out toward the pass that leads from the mining valley to Khorinis. The developers haven't fully rendered the outer worlds yet, but the current terrain layout gives us a massive hint of how epic the pass will look in the future. You can even spot distant islands, which might be the farms of Khorinis. That is all from me for today. I'm leaving you with some extra footages. Thanks for watching, leave a like and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, happy leveling, adventurer!